Hey everyone, it's Angie. Today I have a retro mailbox. If you've been around, you know I love making mailboxes at Christmas time, and I thought I'd get a head start on this one. It's a little bit more involved, but it's not hard to do. So this is the one that I'm sharing today. I'm going to do it in real red this time. I did it in old olive just to change things up. But yeah, we're going to do this one. It opens here where you can add your little treats inside here. And then it closes. You have an option of putting these used to be to hold paper. How many of you remember that? It would hold like a newspaper in there. But I wanted to add them because I thought it added so much to it, but you don't have to. You can just do it as the box. But this is what I'm sharing today. I'm so happy to be back. Actually, I had such a good time with my grandson, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. But yeah, this is what I'm sharing today. So if you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Angie. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! And Demonstrator, and I post on Tuesdays and Sundays. And Sundays is usually a little bit more involved when Tuesday is quick and easy day. And right now we are on a Christmas roll, and that's what we are doing right now. All right, so this is what I'm sharing. Let's get started. I am not going to put the measurements in here because there's so many, y'all, to have to write down, but I'll put them all in the inspiration sheet on my blog at StampingWithAmore.com. All right, so to start with, you'll need a piece of 10 by 6. I did that one old olive, like I said. This is real red. And then you'll need one piece, and this is for these little pieces here. We're going to just cut it in half, and it is 10 by 1/2, but we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 5 inches. And then this piece right here is for the roof. This piece is 5.5 by 1.5. Good grief. The matting pieces here. I'm going to go ahead. I didn't mat the back last time of the mailbox. I didn't mat this part, but I'm going to do that this time. So I cut 4 pieces that are 7/8 by 2 3/8, and then 2 for the top, which are 1/4 inch by 2 3/4. Now these are the 1/4 inch pieces. These are the 7/8 pieces. You do 2 of these, and if you want to do the back, you do 4. If not, just cut 2. So let's see what else we have here. Oh, we are going to do the mail slot that's on the top. So this mail slot right here is going to be 3/4 by 2, and then for the sentiment, I'm using a piece that's 5/8 by 1 7/8, and that's where we're going to stamp on that. And then for the little lock part, or this part right here, this piece is 1/2 by 1 5/8. Like I said, I'm not going to put them in the video because there's so much there. So those are all the pieces right there that we're going to use. I don't want to get these all confused because I had them all set up for what they're for. But it's really easy to do, and I'll show you that here in just a second. I'm going to show you the stamp sets that I'm using for this. So I'm using, again, the Delicate Pines, which is for these tiny pines right here. You can use whatever you have. You can use holly on there to decorate it. I'm going to use the Jolly Delivery stamp set, which is just for this special delivery. I was going to use the Designer Series paper, but I like the plaid better. I'm a plaid girl. I just can't. I have to use it. And then I'm using the Stylish Shapes, and we're using the first and second largest square. And then we are using the mini alphabet. Y'all, this is so good, this mini alphabet. I've used it for so many things, and that's how we're going to get the U.S. mail. You can put, if you're not from the U.S. and you're doing, you can just put post here, or you can just put mail. It's just all up to you how you want to do that. All right, I used Velcro dots for this part. I think I'm going to try to use the magnets this time to show you can use either one. And then these are the pieces for the mailbox, the U.S. mail I cut out. And actually, I did both of them out of one run through. I'm going to show you this set because it has a big die where you cut them all out. And I just keep them in a little jar, all the pieces, and I could use all the letters except for I needed one more U, so I just cut a little piece out here. You can cut little pieces and just cut out each individual one if you don't want them all. But yeah, you have options with this one. It's really good. I love the size of it. It's just perfect. All right, so that's our US mail right there. And then let's go ahead and just put that together first. And we're going to just go ahead, and this one I kind of antiqued with some pecan pie. I don't know if I'll do it with the red one or not. We'll see how that goes. But we're going to just glue on the US mail here first, and then we'll just decorate it. So let me get these pieces where I want them. And we're going to use our little take your pick tool. I brought it over here today. So I'm going to do the mail first, and then I'll just put the other piece on. I'm going to try to make sure I have this centered, so I'm going to do the M first and the L. I don't know how many mailboxes I've made so far. They're all different too. I think I even made a mini one. Okay, so then we'll do the A. Scoot that over just a hair so we have these right. You can do it, you don't have to do it. I use the gold foil for that, but you can just do it in whatever you like. I just thought it'd be cute to have a little bit of glitz on this. And then we're going to do the US. You can just, I mean, there's so many options for the front of this. But I always like to do the US on it. Okay, and then we're going to grab our pieces. I left room here purposely for the little holly, and we're using, this time I'm doing it old olive. I did it in garden green before. But we're just going to cut these apart like I've been doing with these. I don't think I'm going to use it like, because I did layer them. You can layer them like this. And then put your berries in the middle. But I like it better without that little round circle in there. So we're just going to cut that little circle part off. I'm going to do these two as well because we're going to use that for the top part. All right, we'll scoop those out of the way and do this part. And this does have two sides, y'all. I kind of like it where the whole thing's not just down all the way. I like it to kind of pop up because it looks more real. You can put a wreath on this little circle. There's so much you can do with these. Oop. Scoot that over a little bit. And then we're going to do two at the top here. You can do one or two if you want. I just ended up doing two. And again, I'm leaving the top part kind of up so it looks like real. Alright, so now we're going to add our little berries. Let's get that one on there. Let me grab my take your pick tool. I have them all over here. We're going to add one on the top ones. Whoop. And let that dry. And then 3 on the bottom, but we're going to cover it kind of because we're going to put a bow on it. But yeah, I had a great time, y'all. That's why I didn't post on Tuesday, because we got home very late at 2 in the morning. And I was planning on doing a video, but gosh, the time zone really messed me up because it's 2 hours difference than here. So it's 2 hours earlier. And it kind of messed me up a few days. But it was so fun. He won one game, lost the other, but they played so well. It was a very good team, and they're like a newer team, and this team has been around a long time, so they set a record actually for beating this team. So I was very proud of them. But got a lot of hugs and love, so oh my gosh, my heart is so full right now. So now I have to wait till Thanksgiving to see them again, but that's just around the corner. But it was so fun, y'all. It just filled my heart with joy. All right, so this is what we're doing right here for the front. So I'm going to leave that like that. I'm going to go ahead and fix this. We're going to stamp this piece right here. And I think I'm going to stick with the black here. And we're going to do the special delivery at the top. I'm changing it a little bit because after I got that other piece on and I didn't get that straight, so guess what? We're flipping it over because there are 2 sides. I don't want to get my head in the way. Let's pull it closer so I can try to get this centered. There, that's better. I'm going to take my little corner rounder here. And I'm going to round the corner of this one, just so it looks like a little mail slot. And then these are rounding. All right, and then one thing that I did on this one, I'm going to bring my trimmer up here real quick because I'm only going to score this. You can do this with your ruler, or you can do it with your trimmer. But I'm just doing like 1/4 of an inch at the top. And this is just a little detail that, y'all, you don't even have to do it. It's just one of those things that I like to create a little bit more detail in it. Oh, did I get it right? And I think that this time I might just glue it on this part, so this part makes it a little bit 3D. I'll show you that. I don't know. Once you do something, my brain keeps going, and I think of other things. So we're going to set this on here. That's going to be our little mail slot. Okay, we got that ready to go, and let's make the box. All right, so we are going to start. I'm going to cut this in half at 5 inches because you need this piece, you need 2 at 5 inches here, so I'm just going to cut it in half. You can mat the back. If you don't like that on the back, you can mat it, but it actually looks like that in real life. And then this is the roof, and we're going to score the roof, and we're going to score the box. And we're going to have to do a little hand cutting on this box. All right, so on the 10-inch side of this, you're going to score it at 1, 4.5, 5.5, and 9. All these will be in the inspiration sheet. I didn't, as you can tell, I didn't wax this. Let me grab it real quick for this part because it's sliding around on me. All right, there we go. Look how easy. This, y'all, it makes it so much easier. And then this on this side, the 6-inch side, you're going to do it at 1, but we're going to do a little bit extra scoring here And let's go ahead and just do this part because it's going to be at 1/4 of an inch on both sides here. I just flip it around and do it at 1/4 again. And then on this side, you are going to score it 2 3/4. So it's 2 3/4 on that side. That's the roof. All right. Now on this one, you need your ruler. Now this is the 1-inch side here on this top part. You are going to score this at 1 inch here. And I'm going to grab this is easier for me to do on my trimmer. So you're going to score it at 1 inch. So put that up to 1 inch. And you are going to only score on these 1-inch pieces. This one, the center one, and then this side. And I'll show it to you when you get done. And there's a reason for this. So you only want to go up to that, this center one, and then the end. All right, everything's scored. Now we are going to cut. And I'm going to cut down on this one. And down here. And then down here. These I'm going to cut into a little bit. I just left these, I'm just going to do a little bit. I just left these in here to give the roof a little bit more support. You can cut them off if you don't want. This one I'm going to cut off. And cut it straight, don't cut it at an angle. And then this one we are cutting off. This is the bottom part. And you're going to cut these all straight so the bottom's straight. All right, on these two here, you can cut into these, both sides. All right, now what we have to do is we have to mark the center of, I'm going to scoot this back so you don't get confused. On these two right here, we are going to mark the center point at 1 3/4. That's where that 1 3/4 came from. So I'm going to just mark 1 3/4 and 1 3/4. And you can eyeball this or you can mark it. I'll mark it really light so you can see what I'm talking about. Now you're going to take this and go right to that corner there. And you're going to mark it from here to that dot that you just made. And you're going to do the same on this one. I'm not going to mark this one, but I'm going to show you. This is how we are making the roof. So this is going to go to that corner, cutting right on there. And then we're going to cut from there to there. So that's how we get our little roof there. You're going to do the same here. If you have big scissors like I do, you can just cut straight across like that. And then across to here. And there's our roof. Now I kept these on just for stability on gluing on the roof. I am going to use tear and tape for the roof, and this is the roof, so I am going to go ahead and sharpen the score marks on here because this is our little hangover. And then what you're going to do is where you mark the center part, you are going to clip that just to that center, so that when you fold this, it's going to look like that. And that's how you get your roof. All right, let's sharpen the score marks on here. And then this is going to come around this way. And this is going to be our front. So now you can't glue it together yet because we need to put our little door in, which is going to be the larger stylish shape. I'm going to put it right about here. You're going to leave maybe 1/4 of an inch on the bottom, maybe a little bit more. We're going to partial cut this. I'm going to show you how to do it with the cut and emboss. I've done this tons of times, and I've showed it, so some of you already probably know how to do it. But I'm going to get this not so sticky so it comes off. So I'm going to just mark where I want that here, center it, mark it there, and I'll bring the cut and emboss here so you can see how I do it if you're new to this. Oh, came off. So let me put that back on here. I took some of the sticky off, so that was my fault. Oh, make sure this is straight, because now I'm not looking at it straight. Okay, you're going to have to fold these in, these little pieces, if you keep them on. You don't have to keep them on, it's not necessary. You can cut them totally off. I just like that it gave a little bit more stability. All right, so you're going to take this plate and go all the way to the end here. And you're going to go just before this part here. You're going to line it right up to here. And you don't want to go over because you don't want to cut all the way through this. You just want to cut, and I need to move this over because I don't want to get my little point messed up there. So just put it right up to that part. This is going to hang out, and then you're going to push it in until it catches, and then you're going to run it through. It's not going to cut. It's going to cut like a door. It's not going to cut the whole square out. Let me show you that here in a minute. Don't mind my plates. I have new ones. I just haven't found the time to do that yet. Be careful pulling this off because sometimes it tears. That time it's okay. It just tore a little bit right there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to score this part of the door. Down here, just so it opens easier. You can just fold it, but I just like to make sure it opens. So that's how you get your opening for the mail. All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this closed, put it all together, and decorate it. Y'all, it's not hard at all to do. Putting in the door is probably, if you're new, it's probably one of the harder things. But it's super easy. All right. This is why I kept this on. It gives the roof just a little bit of a stability. That's why I left that. I'm going to close this up. Add some more. You can use tear and tape or seal. This is the Seal Plus. Use something strong. Every time you make a box, always use something strong. All right, now I'm going to put the roof on, and I'm going to use tear and tape on these 1/4 inch part. That's the thickness of tear and tape, so it should just fit on here pretty good. And it's going to probably overlap a little bit, but that's okay. You don't even have to put it all the way down. You can, because we're going to cut this edge here. I think I got my roof a little bit shorter than 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter there. All right, and this part of the roof is another detail that I just did myself because I wanted it to be on a slant. So what I'm doing here is I am just cutting at an angle here. I'm bringing my scissors in here, cutting straight across, and then this is going to be cut. So it's going to give that little edge there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Cut up there. I'm going to do on this one. And then just slide your scissors in there and cut straight across. And then you got it looking like a roof. So I'm a little bit over. I didn't get this quite a 1/4 inch, but I'm going to have to play with that just a little bit to get the glue on that little part. So I'll just fold it into that. If you have it come over, you can just fold it over onto the other part. This part could be a little tricky. You're going to have to stick your hand into the inside here to hold this down. This is why I'm using tear and tape. I don't recommend wet glue. I tried that like on my very first one I did, and it didn't want to stick, so I had to grab the tear and tape. Come on. Okay, so this is going to stick like this. You're going to put it on here. This is going to be your center point, so make sure you have that at the center. And press that down. Do the front part first, and then you can go back in and do the back. But I have to stick my hand in here, and you're going to have to like maneuver that to get it to stick. And then this side, this is why that bone folder is going to be so great. I'm going to stick that down. I'm going to grab my bone folder now, and we're going to just love this little flat edge here. Go back in there and get all your little edges sharp. And we've got our roof on. All right. Now we're going to put on our special delivery one here. And I'm thinking of gluing this kind of up a little bit, so it's kind of like up. I didn't get that corner, that part right there. This part you might need to spend a little time on to get it perfect, but it's on there good now. I'm going to grab some wet glue, and I'm just going to take it on that little part that I glued, and I'm going to set this right here. Make sure it's straight. And I forgot to stamp my little directional thing. I have to look at it this way, y'all. And then we're going to put our little mail piece right here. This is going to fit on here. Make sure that when you open it, when you glue it, this part is to the end so you can open it. So we're going to glue that on. You can make this very fancy if you want to. So I do it just from, and it's going to overlap this, but you want that. So when I open it, you want to make sure this is flush, this little edge is flush to the bottom, so when you open it, it's not messing up that part. And then just press it all down. Look how cute. Oh, I like it in red. It's pretty. All right. Now we are going to mat the roof and the edges here. So I'm going to use my wet glue, and we're going to put it here. And then we're going to cut the edges to match the edges of the ends here. How cute is this red one? It looks more Christmassy. This one you're going to overlap at the top. And then I'm going to do the other side too, because I didn't do it last time, and I really thought it probably needed something. I don't know, y'all. I think of stuff at the last minute, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and oh my gosh, I just make it more. All right, now we're just going to trim those little edges to match these. And you can see it when you turn it that way. This one didn't need much. And then this one. Okay, so now it matches that there. Let's put our top of the roof on here. We have to make it festive, right? Yeah, we got to see a lot. In those few days that we were there, we got to see a lot. We went to the, I think it's called Pikes Peak, Martin. It's where they throw the fish. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It was so fun. That market was so neat. I really loved it. Got some goodies and we ate out there. And then this piece, we're gonna glue on the side here, and make sure when you glue this, it's all the way down, and then just fold that over. And another thing that you can do on this one is you can round the corners here too. You can just stick that in there and round it. Just gives it a little more detail. We'll use some wet glue on here. And I want to make sure this is in the right spot. And then I'm going to go ahead and try the magnets, y'all. I used Velcro, like I said, on the other ones. Let me grab my pieces here. These are always so hard for me to get out. Oh, this is why. Good grief. You need a plus and a minus for this. We took a ferry over to Seattle. He lives in a different city, but Seattle is like an hour away. It's very close. But we could take a ferry, and it was very fast on the ferry. It was really fun. Lots of family time, which I love. And then this one, I don't know if these magnets are going to be a little bit thick. I'm trying to get my finger under here to get that down. I may just have to lift it. Sometimes, I don't know, this is the magnets making it a little bit harder to get down. Where the Velcro, I could just stick it down there. So we got that closed now. I'm going to use, since I cut those little pieces off of these, I'm going to just use that for our little doorknob, or door, our little door here. It's the little details, y'all. I put that one upside down, so let me grab another one. And then I grabbed some of my old olive here, and I'm just going to make some little like hinges on the side, just so it looks like some little hinges. And we're going to put one on this side. Again, make sure that it's not interfering with your door. Let's try to get that straight. Any of you from the Seattle or that area? Because it's so beautiful there. We went and walked a couple trails, and we got to see Pia the Peacemaker. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but it's a guy that he built these like trolls out of wood, And he built them in, like, I guess they're all in the Northwest, different forests and stuff. I don't know, my daughter-in-law found her, and oh my gosh, I was so impressed. All right, I thought it was going to be like this little one, and no, it was not. It was humongous. My grandson looked tiny next sitting on it. I'm going to leave that, y'all. I don't want to fool with it right now. All right, so these two pieces we're going to put on the back, and I'm going to use my bone folder to curl these ends. And I didn't stamp that one piece there that I have at the top, which I like it. But we're going to put this one here. Make sure we're straight. And then this one. On this side. Again, make sure they're straight. And these you can roll up a little bit more. Isn't that cute? Oh my gosh, I like the red one. I am going to go ahead and stamp really quick that little symbol that I put on the top. I think I'm going to do it in real red, like I did the other one. And I actually just cut this one out by hand. You can use a punch. I have a 3/4 inch punch, but it was a little bit too big. I don't think my 1/2 inch punch, I think it'd be too small. So we're just gonna cut that. That is so beautiful. My daughter-in-law and I collected leaves. My grandson and my son were all helping us collect the real pretty. We're all looking for these real pretty because the trees are changing. It's my favorite time of year. I have them all pressed in my book right now. I'm going to do them between wax paper like when I was a kid. I don't know, it brought back so many good memories. And my daughter-in-law collected a bunch too. They were beautiful. So there you go. That is it, the final touch, y'all. What do you think? Do you like this one? I think it's so cute. Which one do you like better? They're both cute, but I really love the red. I don't know, I'm a red fan, so yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. If you need any supplies, you can shop on my blog at StampingWithAmore.com. I hope you have a blessed day. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, everyone. Bye.